What's going on, everybody? Crypto T here. What is up, you guys? So it's been a while. It's been about a week, I think, since I made my last video, and I will get into the reasons. We'll talk about that a little bit in this video. We're going to talk about a lot of different stuff in this video. In particular, I'm really excited to talk about something in regards to price and just kind of the movement of the price. So that's going to be like the primary focus. But I do want to throw in some other things into this video as well. And so I guess I want to start off. No offense to anyone out there, but I think Mark would appreciate me sharing this. He made this meme, and yeah, this is kind of just shout out to Mark real quick because I think he makes good memes, and I thought this was funny. But yeah, if we want to jump into the first tweet that I want to cover here, I posted this 2 days ago. It just says, I feel like 2017 was a teaser trailer for crypto in terms of both price and adoption. And I kind of had that thought because Game of Thrones came out with like a teaser trailer for its final season just a few days ago. I'm a Game of Thrones fan. I think a lot of people are, but I really do think that it's comparable to what we saw in 2017. I think a lot of people got excited, and it was like the first mainstream exposure of the idea of Bitcoin. I really don't think many people bought it in terms of like percentages of people who bought it, but it was like the first taste to the mainstream. You know, everybody and their grandma was talking about it on Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2017. Again, I don't think it was mainstream exposure in the sense of people buying, but definitely mainstream exposure in the sense of people even just hearing the word Bitcoin, right? Even if that's as far as it got, I think that like a good percentage of the world, was exposed to it just by hearing about it. I don't think a lot of people invested in terms of percentage. I think there's so much more growth that has to happen, but that's kind of, I'm just trying to explain what I mean by that. And it says here, the next run, whether it's 6 months or a few years from now, it will be historic, in my opinion. By then, the tech will be exponentially better than it was in 2017, and its actual use could come into play. So if you guys remember in 2017, the network was very slow. It was very hard to access a lot of exchanges, definitely during October, November, and December of 2017. There was a limit to the technology at the time. It has grown exponentially since then. Things have gotten so much better, and that's really what it boils down to. When people talk about the fundamentals, that's exactly what they're talking about, just it working better. Cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, whatever you're talking about in regards to cryptocurrencies, if it works, that's basically what the definition of fundamentals is. Basically, does it provide utility? Can it work? Is it actually usable? So I want to come back to some other things as well, but I want to jump into this for right now. So if we take a look at the chart here, not much has really happened in the last week in terms of price. We had that huge drop back kind of in the middle of November, and now we've kind of just been sitting where we are now. At least in terms of percentage drops, I do want to take a look at this drop right here that I'm highlighting. But I want to point out here on CoinMarketCap, you can see if you go here and check daily, for example, the 24-hour change is never, even on the worst days, it's usually about negative 20, negative 30%. You never really see Bitcoin. I don't think I've ever seen Bitcoin above like negative 30 or negative 40% in a 24-hour time period on CoinMarketCap. And I think that goes for a lot of the top coins. The smaller coins are obviously smaller market caps, so they can have higher volatility. But you've never seen Bitcoin like drop 90% in 24 hours, right? So my point of saying that is if you look at the daily chart here, and if you just draw, I have the 50-day moving average right here. So basically the point of me bringing this up is just because I think it's useful to keep in mind that we're never really going to drop massive amounts in short amounts of time. And we can even take a look to this massive drop, which was, I guess, the biggest part of the drop compared to where the 50-day moving average was probably right in this area here. So if we take it from the top of the 50-day moving average to right there, about 25%. And we can even draw it to the bottom of it, which is like 28%, right? So even on like the worst, most volatile drop from the moving average, it's still about less than 30%. And again, this is just in the last few months, but again, this was probably the biggest move that's happened in quite a long time, in many months now. I mean, if you zoom out, you can really get a good idea of just how big that move was. Again, one of the largest drops of the year, and it was even more particularly large because we're already down so much. But I just think it's important to keep in mind that we're not really going to drop insane 40, 50, 60% values of a lot of these top cryptos in a day. And I think that's important to keep in mind if you're buying as well as if you're trading. I think it's important if you're buying, because if we would drop 10, 20, 30% in a day and you wanted to pick up some cryptocurrency that week, that could be a really good entry point. If it was like 30% overextended or something like that. I want to get back into the charts, but I also just want to go to the next tweet here. With that being said, I think volume is really important. If we get to 3K sooner, we're going to see some massive capitulation volume. I tweeted this 4 days ago on December 7th. At the time of me filming this, it's December 11th. So by the time I post, it'll probably be the 12th. But yeah, you can see the volume here definitely increased. And we can kind of just go back to the chart where we are now. You can see this volume is much higher than what we've been seeing over the past few months. We can zoom out. You can see it's comparable to its heights all the way back in March. And March was pretty active in terms of cryptocurrency, in terms of how excited people still were back then, at least in the short term, in terms of price there. But we noticed that it's not anywhere near the volume that we saw at the beginning of February, and even at the beginning of September, or in the middle of September, when we bounced off of 3K of support. Basically, my point of showing this, and I'm sure many of you guys already do know this, but I think it's important to note that if we would find a bottom, a really good indicator on a macro scale, a zoomed out scale like this, would be a lot of volume. So if we see a lot of volume, that's usually a good sign that it's potentially a bottom. Again, we're not really seeing the volume that I would feel comfortable at all saying that we're at the bottom. So based on that, as well as many other things that I'm sure you guys are aware of that I'll go over as well, that's why I don't think we've hit the bottom. I think that's one really good indicator, and there are plenty of them. Yeah, I think we still have some more downside. I do want to look at this tweet, which is 2 days ago, December 9th. I'll be honest, it took me probably until September, October to ultimately accept that we most likely will not see the all-time highs. I want to say at least probably 6 months, but I said for quite a while. I don't really like dating exactly how long because, I mean, it's impossible to guess, but I think it's fair to say that we probably won't see all-time highs for quite a bit of time. That being said, it's incredibly exciting that we're getting the opportunity, and I'm sure some of you viewing this could be like, oh, he's in denial, because I can definitely see if that would be something you would say or think. I can definitely see exactly why you would be saying that. Again, I'm aware of a lot of different perspectives, so that's why I like to bring them up. But yeah, no, I mean, I really do think that this technology is great. It's not gotten worse, guys. Factually, what's actually going on, the technology has gotten better. So with that key fact alone, gives me even more belief in cryptocurrency. I still believe in cryptocurrency the same amount that I did back in March, April, May, June, when I was making videos back then. The videos were more hype because the price wasn't quite as low. However, how much I believe in it has not changed. Have I sold? No, I'm still keeping my positions. In fact, I am buying more. That's not to say you guys should be buying more. I'm not trying to tell you to buy some more. But my point of saying this is that I really do. And again, I know this gets repeated everywhere, so I don't want to spend too much time saying it. I really do recognize the opportunity. And one of my biggest fears, honestly, is just missing out on this opportunity. I am genuinely, if I'm being totally honest, I'm genuinely afraid of missing out on cryptocurrency because I do believe in it, and I really would be upset if I didn't invest as much as I felt comfortable with before this thing takes off, because there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in even the most bearish, I guess I can't speak for everyone, but I know even some of the most bearish people in this space, short term, are very bullish on the price long term, but they're just bearish kind of within, maybe a year, maybe 6 months, maybe 2-3 years, who knows. The point is, there's so much promise in this stuff. And I don't think, it's necessarily my job to get on and remind you of that. I think if you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't. But, definitely just me sharing my thoughts. I definitely think that I just want to share my feelings towards that. Yeah, I definitely am afraid of potentially missing out, which is why I'm not missing out, which is why I keep my mind involved with crypto one way or another. Even though I don't make a video every single day, I think about crypto probably at least, maybe once every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes, I'm not sure. And then before we get back to the chart as well, I do want to look at this. So this tweet actually was exactly 50-50. It got about 260 votes. It was titled, "The Toughest Questions, Buy Now or Wait for Lower Prices." So I pretty much just said, I think we're going to go below where we are right now, which is around 3K. But I think you would be crazy to just also not be scooping it up right now because of the opportunity, because of kind of just what I was just talking about. And so it's pretty crazy that half and half. Honestly, I think both of them are good strategies. I think long term, I think even some comments said that long term, it doesn't really matter if you buy now or wait like a week and it's down another 5% or something like that. The point is you're paying attention to it. And again, it goes back to my whole fear thing. Again, I don't want to miss out on this awesome opportunity, which is why I'm staying vigilant and staying aware of the market. And I do want to try to get the cheapest cryptocurrency prices that I could. I think everybody wants that, right? At least everybody in this space. I think everybody That would be the ultimate goal in terms of price, is to like buy the bottom. Again, that's really hard, and I'm not like aiming to buy the bottom, but I think that's definitely something that I would be very happy with if I got even close to buying the bottom, because I do want to buy as much of these as I can. Now, we talked about volume here. One thing we can look at as well, RSI, you can see it's kind of literally just been right on this 30 line of the RSI for about 2 or 3 weeks now. Really trying to decide where to go. I guess you can obviously see some resistance there as we were on an upward trajectory to try and get out of that incredibly oversold area. What about 10? I think we got all the way down to like maybe 9, maybe 10, which is incredibly low. If we zoom out here, you can see we haven't really been in that territory for at least, wow. This actually goes all the way back to 2013, and we weren't even that low back then. So that's pretty insane. The RSI is extremely oversold. So that's not to say that we're not going to go lower, because I think over the short term we probably could, and I think we will, because we need to cement a bottom. Now, with that being said, as I'm sure many of you know, just if we cement a bottom does not necessarily mean that we're going straight to the moon, and I try to make that clear as well. It wouldn't make sense, and I'll actually pull up a tweet that I did about that. So this is the tweet right here. Do either of those look reasonable to anyone? I don't believe so, and I just posted a link to a trading view snapshot that I took of my screen here that I drew. Does this scenario look reasonable, or does this? And I think neither of them do. Especially this one. I don't think anybody thinks that would ever be possible. But more in particular this, because if we would see an upward move, it would obviously be met with some ups and downs, as we always see. If you look at any chart, it's never straight. But yeah, 2 I don't think is reasonable. I don't think we consolidate here, hit a bottom, boom, go straight up. There's going to be probably a period of bottom trading sideways before we change the momentum. I think that has to happen. And that was just kind of my point of doing this tweet. I tweeted this back on November 28th, so like 2 or 3 weeks ago. That's just my realistic opinion on the market. With that being said, again, guys, not going crazy. I'm sure some of you might think that. But, that goes back to this tweet here. I'm incredibly excited for the opportunity to get coins at these prices, and I'm hoping it lasts much longer. Because if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I would be happier if I had more cryptocurrencies, more coins when we engaged in the next bull run, when we hit the next bull run. I would be happier with myself and probably with life in general if I had more. So the more time that I have to buy more, the better. It's pretty much that simple. It's not really any more complicated than that. And again, I think we're going to have some more opportunity for that. Now, if you guys have been following for the past few weeks, I just drew this in comparison to the exact time frames as well as percentages basically that the last bear market occurred. So again, this is not concrete, but I'm looking at this basically as a maybe even worst case scenario. And with that being said, we're over halfway through that scenario. So we can just measure here from the beginning to here, which is 559 days. We're on day 331. So 660 would be halfway, but we only have 558 days, so it is, much less than halfway to go. Again, I don't even think at all necessarily that we're going to be in this downtrend exactly this long, which would bring us basically to the middle of July 2019. But I definitely think that I don't think we're going to hit all-time highs for at least the next 6 months probably. With that being said, I still am sticking with I think 3K could be a very good, I guess you could say ultimate bottom point. I know people will say you can't just draw lines across the charts like this, but what's ironic is that when people do other analysis, whether it's other things, they essentially come to the same exact numbers anyway. They just don't like thinking of it as being so simple, but it can be. They come to the same exact numbers basically by doing different things, but they all kind of mesh and kind of work together anyway. So I think it's criticism that's kind of invalid to begin with. Again, so if we start here and go all the way, well, pretty much the top of the bull run and go all the way to 3,000, what does that bring us to? About an 85% drop. This last bull run of 2017 was pretty historic. Do I think that 85% might be a little too low for how much a total drop could be before entering the next bull run? Potentially. I think we have some more room to go. So with that being said, I think 3K could be a really good support, but I would not at all be surprised to see us go into 3K. And I guess you could maybe ask the question, all right, well, where would you put the ultimate bottom? Where would you, throw every penny that you had into cryptocurrency that you'd feel comfortable investing if we hit that price? Really, if we got anywhere below 2K, I would not hesitate to, take all of my resources that I would want to invest in cryptocurrency and immediately invest them. If we got Bitcoin anywhere below 2,000 and then respectively every coin would go to, their respective prices percentage wise drop according to that. I think if we even just touched 2K or even a little bit below that, I think that would be probably the craziest opportunity, and I would definitely try not to take that for granted. I would definitely try to act on that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I just wanted to put a video out there because I haven't in quite a little bit. I've been extremely busy. I actually said I was going to touch on some of the reasons for that. I've been working insane amounts as well. I have been sleeping like 8 or 9 hours. Actually, I think I've been sleeping even more than that per night. I sleep a lot. It's winter, and I guess my body just gets more tired in the winter. I feel really healthy, knock on wood, but I haven't gotten sick in like 2 years or something like that. I don't know. I don't really get sick, but I definitely sleep a lot, so maybe that's one of the reasons. But yeah, I've been sleeping a lot, been super busy with my job. I've also been playing some video games, which I previously was not doing for the past 2 years. So video games eat up into kind of that free time that I was using to make videos. But it's definitely a combination of work and sleep. Definitely work is probably the biggest one. Sleep 8-10 hours taking out of your day is immediately like a lot of time you lose, so that as well eats up a lot. But yeah, that's basically what I want to talk about in this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope everyone's, just doing well, just enjoying where we're going. There's nothing you can do anyway, so you might as well either, if you're in the space, accept it and realize this opportunity, or don't. I mean, those are the only options. Either get angry, get upset that the prices are down, which I don't even know why you would at this point, or understand the opportunity ahead of you and take advantage of it. That's basically what it boils down to. All right. Hope everyone has a great day, and I will see you in the next video.